is Marsha Diane, and thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Today we're going to talk about this story time. And I know the last time I talked to y'all, I was supposed to be coming to YouTube, but life happened and it's been months since I posted, but I'm back and I promise I'm going to start posting for real. But y'all, I got this crazy story time that I feel like that a lot of people would like to hear. So stop what you're doing, like, subscribe, comment, share, turn on your post notifications so you can be notified every time I decide to share a video with y'all. Make sure y'all drop some video ideas in the comments, because this is just gonna be an all-out YouTube channel. Like, we not specifically doing anything over here. So let me drop this intro and we're gonna get right back to the video. Y'all, I live in like a busy part of the city. Like, I live close to the airport, so if you hear planes and stuff, I'm sorry. Okay, so this story time is gonna be about a crazy roommate I had, y'all. Like, he was crazy. Like, this is the craziest situation I've ever been in with somebody that it was hard for me to get out. Like, this was crazy. So I'm just gonna start from when I first started staying with him, and then we're just gonna end the story. So basically what had happened is I had just turned 18 and I got into an altercation and I had went to jail. And at the time I was in school, I had real strict parents, y'all. So like I was real bad in school. I was doing a lot of stuff and my parents was like, they just was like over it. So once I had turned 18, they was just like, it's a wrap. So at that point I had to move out my parents' house or whatever, to make a long story short. And I didn't have anywhere to go. Like, I was literally just walking. Like, I rode the bus downtown. I didn't know where I was gonna go next. Y'all, mind you, it was January, so where I live, it was snowing. It wasn't a lot of snow. It was like 1 or 2 inches, but I'm 18 years old, just walking downtown, proud that I made it downtown to the bus station or whatever. So like, as I'm like, dang, okay, I guess I'm gonna just go to my greenhouse until I figure out what's gonna happen tomorrow, I get a call from the bondsman, because mind y'all, I was 18, so I went to jail. So I got a call from the bondsman, and they was like, well, you owe some more money on your bond, and we're gonna have to get that money, or we're gonna have to revoke your bond. And I'm like, no, I don't want to go back to jail. I just turned 18, y'all. I was like, hell no, jail not for me. No. So I was like, no. I had some money on my card because I was working at the time. Thankfully, I was working, so I had some money on my card or whatever. So I went to the bonds office or whatever, and I had all my bags, and they was like, where you going? And I was like, in my head I was contemplating on, did I want to tell them the truth, or did I want to just tell them I'm going to my granny house and I don't know if she's gonna answer the door, I don't know if she's awake, like I don't know what's gonna happen next. So I told them the truth. So they was like, oh, that's so bad, I'm so sorry that happened to you, you only 18, like you've been through a lot or whatever. We know somebody that looking for a roommate. And I'm like, okay, shit, I don't got nothing else to lose. I'm 18, I'm still in school, I'm still trying to graduate, like I'm still trying to live my normal life without all of this chaos going on in the background. Because mind y'all, we was on spring breaks. I mean, not spring break, we was on winter break. So like all this going on before I go back to school. So I'm like, oh my God, okay, thank God. I'm thinking it's a girl. No, it's a man. So we're gonna call him David. So David comes up there, whatever, and no, actually one of the people there drove me to David's house, and like I was comfortable living there because I knew that area, I knew the apartment complex that David stayed in, so I was cool with like being in that area. I was really scared though, because I was 18. This was my first time living with a stranger, somebody I never knew. It was a man. He was older than me. He was grown. I was grown, but he was grown, y'all. So like a lot of stuff was going through my head as we going there, but like I'm like, okay, this is my last option. I have to at least stay here until I graduate. Once I graduate, I can figure out something. So I'm like, that's my mindset. That's in my head. This is what I'm sticking to. So y'all, I get there and they like prepping me. They telling me a whole lot of stuff. They like, yeah, he's nice. He live in a nice apartment, but the apartment is like a fixer-upper. You just gotta accommodate it to make it homey for yourself. So I'm like, okay, cool. I know the apartment complex. I know it could be bad, but it can't be that bad. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm just listening, scared as hell in the back seat, like, oh my God, what the fuck? Like, Jesus, you fits. So I'm like, okay, we get there. Y'all, I walk in and it was trash everywhere. Like, it was trash from the front door to the fucking back room. It was trash everywhere. The apartment was a 1-bedroom. The bathroom was disgusting. And like he was a nice person. Like he was a nice person. I'm not gonna lie. He was a nice person. He allowed a stranger to come into his home. I will forever be grateful for that. He was a nice person, but he was like socially awkward. He was I think he had like a lot of anxiety problems. And like me being me, I'm like an outspoken person. Like I'm like outgoing. I'm funny. I got stuff like we was completely different. Like we night and day. So like me walking in instantly, he was just like, this the roommate y'all was talking about? So like from the beginning, I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck? Like, is this an arranged marriage? Like that's how I was really feeling, y'all. Like I feel like they was trying to arrange a marriage or something. Like that's how I really felt about the shit. So I walk in, I'm like, I'm trying not to be rude because I'm like, this is like my last resort, basically. Like until I figure out something, like I have to graduate. I can't just be out here without no high school diploma. So I'm just like, okay, what we could do is like be nice, help him clean up, and tell him your plan, and then from there we just go with the flow. So y'all, the next day I cleaned the fuck. When I say I cleaned the fuck, I cleaned the fuck out that house. Like I ain't never cleaned a house so motherfucking good, y'all. I ain't never scrubbed the tub so motherfucking hard. I ain't never scrubbed a fucking toilet like that in my life. Like y'all, I'm not being dramatic at all. Like y'all, I wish I could show y'all pictures. Like I wish I could show y'all this shit because y'all would not believe me if it was pictures. Like I mean, y'all would probably believe me because like who would lie about some shit like this? But I'm just saying, like if I had pictures, y'all would be like, that's unbelievable. Like what the fuck, somebody living like that? Like yes, like full on, don't give a fuck, smoke all day, throw that shit on the floor. Bitch, I'm not bullshitting. So like I cleaned the fuck out that house, y'all. Like I cleaned the fuck, like the house was so spotless when I got done. Like he was just in awe because literally I cleaned that shit up so good it made him start cleaning up. Like he was like, I can't believe this bitch really just came in my house and just cleaned the fuck out of my house like it. Like what? And like y'all, I didn't complain. I didn't call him nasty. I didn't call him dirty. I didn't say anything bad about him. Like I didn't say anything bad about him because I'm genuinely a nice person. I was raised to be nice. Like my parents are really, really strict. So like I was raised with morals and codes, and like I was actually brought up and taught stuff. So like I was never rude to him. Like I wasn't rude to him at all. Throughout that whole process of me cleaning his whole house, like I'm like, no, you good, everything cool. I'm just making sure everything clean enough for me. Like I don't like this how you live. I don't have a problem with that. Like I didn't have a problem with it, y'all. I was gonna live there, so I had to clean it. So after that, we was cool or whatever. We both smoked, so we was smoking together or whatever. We'd have little small conversations, nothing too major, because for one, he was older than me. He was a grown-ass man, and I was 18. And I know how to go. Like, I'm 18, he's grown. Like, you know, people just think that stuff like that, like, we could be, but we wasn't. So I'll have like small conversations with him, nothing too major, whatever, for a couple weeks. And then like the first incident, like he asked me that I want to sleep in the bed instead of me making a pallet, because I was making a pallet, or I was trying to sleep on the couch or whatever. And I was like, okay, I sleep in the bed. No, I didn't want to sleep in the bed because he wanted to sleep in the bed with me. Or like, first it started off with him being on the couch, and then he started like wanting to be in the bed with me. So I'm like, no, I'm gonna make a pallet. But I didn't want him to feel like I didn't want to be around him. Like, he wanted me to be attracted to him. I felt it. Like, you know how you feel when somebody like you and they can't tell you, but you know? It was one of those things. So I started making me a pallet, but in the same room. So I started making a pallet. It was in the same room. I couldn't sleep, y'all. I still, like, to this day, can't sleep through the night, all through the night. Sometimes, especially when I'm sleeping with men, because of this situation. But yeah, I used to have trouble sleeping because I used to think that stuff would happen to me, like, for real. So at that time, nothing happened. So yeah, I was making pallets or whatever. Boom, a couple more weeks went by. We started having more and more conversations. I started meeting his close friends and family and stuff like that. Again, I didn't have that many family. I mean, I did have family, but I really wasn't around them. They never came to visit me. They really didn't know where I was at and what was going on. So, what part was I on? Family really didn't know. I started meeting his family and friends or whatever. And like, we was cool. Like, it was like a friendship. Like, it was cool. It wasn't even like a friendship. It was more like, okay, we acquaintances. Like, we can be cordial with each other. We can live together type shit. So he started writing messages to me. And like, y'all, it would just start off as, you're beautiful, I hope you have a great day. And it would be like a message written on the refrigerator, on like a refrigerator magnet, and like markers. And I was like, okay. And like, I would never reply back. Like, I didn't want him to feel like we're building something more than what it was. So I would never reply back. I would just erase it, and he would put it back up there later on that day, and I would be like erasing it. So one day he wrote like a whole definition of creep, because I told him that I wasn't replying back to the messages because I felt like it was creepy. Like, if he had anything to say to me, he could have just said it. Like, we could just talk about it. We was having conversations before then. Like, don't leave me messages on the motherfucking refrigerator magnet. And this is not that. Like, we're not exchanging like that. Like, this is not what's going on. You're like 25 and I'm like 18. So at this point, I'm like, David is fucking crazy. It's like February, March, April, May. Okay, so yeah, it's like February. I have to graduate in like 3 months. So I'm like, ooh, I only got 3 months. Ooh, I just gotta deal with this for 3 months. Y'all, after he wrote that creep message and the definition of creep, he bought more magnets. It was one on the door. It was one on the refrigerator door. I believe it was one in the bathroom too. And like, he just started putting messages everywhere. So I was like, I started writing messages back, and it was like mean stuff. And I think it was really hurting him as a person, because I wasn't being mean to him at first. But at that point, I was so creeped out. I was just like, oh my God, like, this man is in love with me. At that point, I had stopped sleeping in the same room as him. Like, I would just get up in the middle of the night and just go in the living room, or just sleep in the hallway, or just not go to sleep at all. Just stay up all night on my laptop smoking and shit. And then going to school, going to work, and coming back real late at night and doing the same shit. So This is a long ass story, y'all.
3 hours later.
After the messages, like, it just got like really awkward. Like, at that point I wasn't talking to him at all. Like, I had stopped talking to him. I had stopped asking him to give me ride places. Like, I had stopped letting him take me to work, because it was just getting to a point where he was so in love with me. Like, he would try so much and do so, like, he would try to overstep his boundaries every month. Like, it would get worse. So it's coming up to my graduation or whatever. Let's say we're in April. He asked me about prom and stuff, and I'm like, I'm not going. Then he asked me when was my graduation. I didn't tell him because I did not want him to go or whatever. And I was like, this is like an intimate thing for me. Like, I just prefer family and friends to be there or whatever. And whatever. He was like, okay, cool. Y'all, tell me why I'm walking towards the stage and I go and set the crowd and I see him sitting, just watching me, clapping for me. Like, y'all, I was so livid. It made me so mad because I was like, why would he do that? And I told him, don't come to my graduation. Like, please don't come to my graduation. Like, that's an intimate, that's like, I wanted family and friends there. Like, I didn't want my, first of all, I didn't want my daddy to know the situation I was in because he did not know anything. For two, I didn't want the rest of my family to know either. Like, nobody knew the situation I was in except my cousin and my friends and the boy I was talking to at the time. So I was like, oh my God, he came to my graduation. What the fuck? Like, really, like with my school hoodie on. Like, he was in full support. Like, he was my nigga, y'all. Like, that man was there, standing ovation for me. Like, bitch, you cannot tell him I was not his motherfucking girlfriend. Like, we lived together. I was his girlfriend, and he came to my graduation. The fuck? In his head. So I'm like, okay, he came to my graduation, cool. So at this point, I feel like he was like, you either gonna be with me or you gonna have to leave after your graduation for real. Like, you got to go. But y'all, I was so focused on that negativity in trying to graduate. I really didn't have a plan for what I was gonna do after I graduated. So I was gonna ask him, could I just stay there throughout the summer, and then after the summer I was gonna go. So a couple days had went by past my graduation, and like, at this point the tension was so real. Like, I know he didn't want me to be there unless I let him fuck or we be in a relationship or I go on a date with him or something like that. He didn't want me to be there at all, y'all. He was just like, he was over my shit. He was over me just sitting there and not talking to him. Like, he was over it. And y'all, like, he drastically changed as a person. Like, he was a really, really heavy-set guy. When I first met David, he was like, if you play Sims, you know, the couch potatoes, the slouches, like, that's how his personality was. Like, he was cool though. He was a nice person. Like, again, I'm not going to take that from him. He was a nice person. He was just not my person. So that's how he was when I first met him. But I feel like he tried to become somebody that he felt like I wanted because of how he looked. He felt like that his size and his weight really mattered to me, which it really didn't, because I actually like bigger guys. But like, it was more of his personalities and his traits and how he was as a person as to why I couldn't be with him in a relationship. Like, we could be friends, like, we could live together. Like, it was like, we could live together. If he would have never overstepped them boundaries, we possibly could have been friends. But he overstepped boundaries. Like, so graduation passed, couple weeks go by, I want to say like a week or two, and the tension was real high. I wasn't sleeping at night at all. And then one day I was real tired, and I fell asleep in the living room on the floor. And when I woke up in the morning, he was like at my feet, like I had like on my knees, like on me like this, like at my knees. And when I woke up, I was like, and he hurried up and jumped up and was like, I was just trying to see what kind of music you had on your laptop. And y'all, I went the fuck crazy. Like, I went the fuck crazy. Like, I could not hold my composure anymore. I could not be a good person anymore. I could not be nice. I went the fuck crazy. I called my auntie and told her, look, I have to move with you. I'll pay you whatever you want to let me move with you, because this man has really, like, he done it. Like, this is the end. Like, if I stay here another night, I might get raped. Like, I can't do it. So I told her to come get me. She came and got me. Boom. A couple days went by. I didn't go get my stuff or whatever because I was trying to work out the situation with my auntie or whatever. So he was calling and texting me and was like, okay, if you're not gonna live here no more, just bring me back my key and come get your stuff or whatever. I'm like, cool. So I asked my auntie, can she take me to go get my stuff? And she's like, yeah, she allowed me to live with her or whatever. So she takes me over there to get my stuff, and I'm hoping and I'm praying that he's not there, and he wasn't. I went at a time where I knew he was gonna be at work, so I was like, ooh, thank God. But like, the door was still unlocked when I left. So he was like, you left my door unlocked. My stuff could have got stolen and I would have got you arrested and this, blah, 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 blah. And if anybody come and rob my house, I'm going to get you arrested. I know everything about you, blah, 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 blah. But I was not worried about that shit, y'all. I was not trying to do anything to that man. Like, I was trying to leave. Like, I didn't want anything to do with him. No ties at all. So at the time I worked at Sonic, and it was like right down the street from his house or whatever. But I worked there before I even knew him or before I even moved with him. So like, that was just my little first job, and I just stayed there for a while. So I had went to work. I had started back, like, after that happened, I was still working or whatever, and he had started coming up to my job, y'all, and I knew it was him because he would order a certain type of drink, because he was in love with strawberries. So he would order this same drink every time he come, and like, when I was being nice to him, I would ask him what he wanted for my job, and that's what he would order. So like, I used to look out the door or like out the windows, because you know Sonic is like a fishbowl. And I would see his car, and I'd be like, y'all, look, he's stalking me again. Like, I'm not taking it outside to his car. And like, every time one of the car hops would take it outside, they'll be like, Shay, he said hey. And I'd be like, oh my God, y'all, he's really fucking stalking me. So I ended up switching Sonics. I moved to a different Sonic, and after that I had stopped seeing him. I haven't seen him since. I remember I used to ride the bus downtown for school, and I used to see him every now and then. So I had stopped riding the bus downtown to go to school. Like, y'all, I was so scared that this man was gonna like literally just say, fuck it, you coming with me, like, you get no contact, I'm gonna break your phone. Like, y'all, it was really, really bad. Like, I know I'm telling the story like it's real calm, like, but at the time it was really, really bad, and I was really, really scared. And I don't recommend that nobody don't get no roommates, especially not no man, especially not no stranger, especially not somebody that somebody recommended to you, because baby, you not want to end up like me and end up with a story like mine. So I'm telling you, that shit was fucking wild, y'all. And till this day, I cannot trust men. Like, my trust issues with men run so deep because of the situations men have put me in. Like, maybe I should do a series about the situations that men put me in and why I can't trust men, because y'all, the list goes on and on and on and on. Like, these story times gonna get juicier. Like, this is just the beginning. Like, this is when I first turned 18 and I first hit the streets. Like, y'all, I was 18 out here scared. Like, I didn't know what the fuck to do. I couldn't call my parents because I didn't want them to know I was out here living with a man. Like, y'all would know my parents would have did to me. But seriously, don't move with a stranger that's a man. I'm telling you, that shit was wild. And now I'm gonna have to make sure I watch this whole long ass video to make sure I didn't say that man's name not one time. And I don't think I did, because I never speak of his name and I never speak of this situation. But I just thought it would be a good ass YouTube video because I haven't been posting. So again, thank you, girl, for watching my video, and like, subscribe, and comment, and turn on your post notifications so you can be notified every time I post. And